What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another vlog. I'm Emkwan. Peace and blessings to all out there. So this vlog is a long time coming. A couple of months ago I asked on Twitter you guys to give me a suggestion for a vlog that I can do that uses Twitter, and a lot of you mentioned that, hey Emkwan, you should have one of those react to your old tweets. I thought that was a really good idea. I kind of made a note of the idea, but then I forgot all about it. Fast forward about a month ago and I woke up one morning because one of you guys sent me a tweet to congratulate me on getting verified on Twitter. Now, verification is a really weird thing because on Twitter, it's a big deal. Like, I remember when I tweeted out, a bunch of people were saying to me, yeah, Emkwan, congratulations. I got people emailing me and just DMing me. Don't know why really. All Twitter verification means is that you are considered what Twitter calls newsworthy. Newsworthy means that, you know, that you've been in the news, or what you're doing can kind of be of an interest to a wide audience or wide group of people. It doesn't change who you are, and it shouldn't change who you are. The major disadvantage is the fact that, well, if I tweet something now, it's a lot more open to scrutiny. In this video, what I want to do is I took the opportunity with my Twitter verification to actually download my entire database of tweets. What I'm going to tell you right now might completely shock you. It scared the hell out of me when I worked it out. Let me just tell you something. Oh my god, this is insane. Round it up, okay? 127,000 tweets. Now, let's just say, for argument's sake, each one of those tweets takes 10 seconds, you know, on the phone to log on, to type, and to send it through. That means I have tweeted for 352 hours. Anyway, enough of the numbers, man. What I want to do in this vlog is I want to go back to my earlier tweets. Let's focus on me, not on the background. I want to go back to my earliest tweets and actually have a look at that. Now, Twitter has a really awesome feature. There are actually two features. One is you can actually go to a page on Twitter, and I'll leave a link down below. You can type your Twitter username in and you'll find out your first tweet, which for me was really interesting. Second, if you have tweeted as much as I have, you'll be able to actually download a database of every single tweet that you have ever published on Twitter, and you'll be able to see what that looks like as well. Let's go back in time and let's check out what my first tweet was on Twitter. I've got my laptop over here. Believe it or not, my first tweet was on January the 28th, 2009. Wow, that's actually really weird. Check it, my first tweet on the platform was this: completed a set of BlackBerry videos on SpaceTube. Now, many of you might not know, but this is not actually my first channel. My first channel that I set up was a channel called Emkwan. It was called the Emkwan Project. It was kind of crazy. I used to wear a mask. It got me a ton of kind of exposure on YouTube as a tech YouTuber. Now, I've stopped that channel now. I've obviously matured and grown up. I'm wearing a different kind of mask now. This really surprised me because I thought my first tweet would be related to something really kind of, you know, mundane, like, oh, hi Twitter, or something like that. But this is really interesting because it means that even back then, like, YouTube was my #1 priority, and I was using Twitter to kind of market the work that I was doing on YouTube. All right, fast forward now, I've got like a list of all the tweets that I did. This is from May 2009, and it's just so many people want to know my origin. Maybe I should run a competition on it. And it amazes me how many people want to see my face. Now, this is really interesting. This is one of the things that I originally, when I started off on social media, I didn't show my face. I would talk and I'd wear that mask. People would see my hands, and I remember on the comment section, tons of people wanting to know where I was from. Like, I'm reviewing a brand new iPod or a brand new smartphone. No, we want to know, where's this guy from? And I suppose in many ways it kind of shows the kind of interest that people have in the person behind the camera. This is true to this day because if you've noticed, we don't show Zayn's face. Everybody that we meet, when they see us face to face, the first thing and the first person they really want to see is not us, not me and Bila, no. They want to see Zayn. And that's because a lot of people, they want to see what they're not being shown. All right, I'm including this. This is interesting. This was from April 2009. This was like before the last one. But anyway, John for Lakers. Dude, how do you push your blog and videos? I'm new and have just started up, looking for advice. By the way, you rock. John for Lakers runs one of the biggest tech YouTube channel on the platform. And John Fulakers at that time was actually starting up. He was doing really well. Twitter for me as a platform, right at the beginning, has been an awesome medium to contact people, to talk to people, to interact with people. And I found that actually, if you do it in the right way on Twitter, you can get people to respond to you. And I've had that experience with Otis Daly as well. Otis Daly is the famous presenter from UK's Gadget Show. I remember tweeting him and saying, hey, I want to do a YouTube collab with you. And he agreed to that. And I'll post a link down below to that particular video. That was again where I was wearing the mask. So it's a bit crazy. But it kind of proves that, you know, if you use any social media platform in the right way, you can interact with people that you wouldn't normally ever be able to do outside of the platform. Next tweet, wondering what to do next, revision or not. This is from 18th of April 2009, and this was a big deal for me. I remember when I started off Twitter, I was actually a university student. I should have been studying, I should have been kind of focused on my studies, but social media, even at that point, had taken over my life. This is from 27th of April 2010. I remember this so clearly. I'm tweeting two people who were based in Leicester, Jackie Raka and Yusuf M55 on Evington. Tweeple, wanna see the iPad? Let me know, special viewing for the boys. Now, believe it or not, I managed to get one of the first Apple iPads. This is the original iPads. In 2010, I had someone who was a follower from the US who went out of their way to grab this iPad, send it over to me, and it was such a big deal. I remember that because I'm going to post a link down below to a really old kind of tech vlog where I actually took the iPad to my local Apple store in Leicester and they threw me out. They threw me out because there were too many people asking about the iPad, wondering how the hell I'd got it and they hadn't. Alright, fast forward now to June 2010 and whoa, passed my driving test. Only one fault, no lie, the examiner and me were talking about the iPad. Tech unites. This was funny, man, because like I had taken so many lessons to pass my driving test. I remember because this was around about the time that I was looking to get engaged, married. Everybody told me, Emkwan, you need to put your socks up. Basically, you need to learn how to drive. And at the time, like I was riding a motorbike. I preferred not to drive. Obviously, I feel very differently about that now, but at that time, it was really weird. But yeah, anyway, I passed my driving test with flying colors, one of the few things that I've done so well in my life. Then we're off to July 2010. This is it, guys. Hashtag Emkwan wedding. This was such a build up for me because it was a build up of just kind of the whole prep, trying to keep it cool. I remember at that time as well, a lot of what I was doing on Twitter, on social media, I hadn't sort of revealed my face and things like that, and I remember it was very hard trying to find that balance. Obviously now I can tweet personally and I can sort of share more information about who I am, my family and other people around me. But at that time, I wanted to kind of like share a lot more about my wedding and preparations for the wedding, but it didn't kind of tie in with the brand persona of Emkwan, who used to wear a mask and was kind of obscure and shady. A bunch of people saying to me, oh my god, you're getting married, like when are you getting married, who's the girl? Yeah, it's really crazy. 2010 was an awesome year. I got married, I'd started working, and then 2011 comes in, and unfortunately my grandfather passed away. I remember this tweet because we were there at the hospital. It was really tough because I remember the whole family was around him. He was very lucky though, because when he passed away, it was quite he was ill for a while, and it had given him enough time to kind of spend time with people, including the grandkids. I remember right at the end getting a phone call, and I went down with Bila, and we were there, and yeah, we were there with him for 3-4 hours, I think. And sad, like my grandfather was an awesome guy, a really nice guy. He was one of those guys that unfortunately I ended up missing more after his passing, because there was stuff about him that I discovered, like just his character, how much he helped people. My granddad was a larger than life character. He was among some of the first Asians that moved over to the UK. He moved to Southall when Southall was predominantly white. There were people from the Sikh community, from the Hindu community, from the white, from the black community that came and spoke really highly of him. Fast forward to 2012. That tweet was really interesting because it was at the beginning of the year. You know, there were a bunch of changes that were happening. I was trying to give YouTube more of a go full time. I got into a situation where I was trying to make something that was a hobby into a business, and I remember there was a lot of pressure. There was pressure on delivering, there was pressure on trying to, you know, figure out advertising, figure out sort of AdSense, can I make enough money to survive on? And I remember, you know, in the same month tweeting this out. Today's emails and few family things over the last few months have made me think seriously differently. That's really bad English. And I tweeted Bila about this, my awesome friend and wife. And Bila was just so supportive during this period of time. Like, it was just amazing to, like, it's amazing, like, you know, the emotions that are attached to tweets, because when I read this, it brings back so many kind of painful memories and kind of stressful times. You learn from it. I overcame it. And the following tweet really is almost, I think, a couple of months later, which is when I ended up here in the UAE. And it says this: finally pitting, oh my God, my English gets worse and worse. Finally pitting a vlog together. Who wants to see what we're getting up to in #UAE? And that was basically after we moved. I remember this time because I hadn't tweeted very much. Obviously, you go to a new country, you have to set up. I didn't have internet. I discovered how bad the internet here is. So it was just a lot of stress putting this thing together. Anyway, the tweet after that, and just look at this tweet. This is just stunning. It's from October, the same month. Perfect wallpaper shot with the iPhone 5 from Ras Al Khaimah in the UAE. That was the view from our balcony. It was just insane. I think one of the things when I read through some of those tweets that happened in 2012, the family issues, the kind of issues trying to, you know, get onto my feet, trying to make something, was the fact that I think during that period of time, I was forced to learn patience. I was forced to learn thinking outside of the box as well. I'm not gonna forget that easily. Next, this is from 2013, and I remember this very clearly because we had been invited, me and Bila were invited to actually go to the F1 and vlog it. Alright, fast forward to this one. This is really weird. Just reading this just gives me like goosebumps. This is from July 2014, and I've tweeted trip time to at IKEA UAE, #Abu Dhabi, getting things ready for #Baby Kwan, inshallah. Wow, yep, that was it. That's kind of when we were prepping for Baby Kwan to arrive. And this is it. This is from the 6th of October 2014. Thank you all for your du'as, prayers and well wishes. Baby Kwan was born yesterday at 11:30 p.m. Eid baby, we will keep you posted. It was a baby boy. And I remember this. I remember just that whole wait. Bila went into labor like really early on in the morning, and this was on Eid day, but we were in the hospital for almost like 12 hours. It's amazing, isn't it? Like Twitter, like even when I'm reading back at these tweets, just it's a diary. I mean, like, this is like a mini diary of the last number of years that I've been on Twitter. Next one. Okay, so this is from 2015, at the beginning of the year, January 2015. I was invited to an event. It was really late. I didn't want to attend. And I messaged the guys and I said, look, you're gonna have to count me out. And they said, no, you've gotta come. I was like, why do I have to come? Trust me, you want to come. I was like, I don't really want to come. I still had no idea that I was up for an award. And they said, no, Emkwan, you must come. And it was at that point I was like, okay, let me go and attend. And I remember this, one of the highlights of my life was when I got that Esquire Man at His Best award. And this was as a digital influencer. This was a lot of the work that I'd done with brands, with sort of using social media. That was the vlog that I put up, and that was such an amazing experience. A couple of months later on, I got the Ahlan Hot 100 inclusion, which is a big deal here. Ahlan magazine is like the equivalent of OK magazine everywhere else. And they every year put together like a Hot 100 of influencers and people that are doing things. And that year I remember them including me, and they shot this really awesome picture out in Saudi Yard where I'm kind of smashing this TV. It's insane. Now this is I'm fast forwarding now. That's 2015 done. I'm fast forwarding to June 2016. Fast forward June 2016, and I remember this. This tweet was just insane. This is me seeing the results coming in for hashtag EU referendum. This is really odd because I'm including this tweet here because, you know, before that time we'd been in the UAE. This tweet, and when the EU referendum happened, when Brexit happened, that's when I've been starting to feel a much more kind of a closer association with the UK. At the end of the day, born in the UK, I'm from the UK. I included this tweet because in many ways, I kind of started to feel a little homesick. Fast forward then to July 2016. We went home for my brother's wedding, and you know, just seeing family, just seeing friends and siblings grow. It's just something. I mean, at the end of the day, you can be living in a place, but where you're born and where you're from is ultimately where your roots are. And that's it. This is the last tweet that I'm including, which is from September 2016. So this is my first tweet as at verified tweeter. Should this feel any different? That's it. This is the most recent tweet that I wanted to include in this list. But this is just like a summary of my life on Twitter. It's been such an interesting experience just trying to find these tweets, looking over those tweets, and then putting this together for you guys as well. That's it. That is literally my life on Twitter over the last number of years. It's insane just how much I feel like I've grown, how much you guys have changed in terms of audience. But you know, before I go, I just want to say a big thank you. I say this as much as I can, but it's never enough. A big thank you to you guys for the continued support, for the continued love, for the continued just being with me through this entire journey. And just before I go, if you want to find out your first tweet, again, the link will be down below. Anyway, that's it from me for now. I will see you guys in the next video. Once again, I'm Emkwan. Remember, live life, peace and blessings.